Welcome to the 2026 Arts Alive Awards virtual ceremony. I'm Natalie Grieshammer-Patrick, Executive Director of Summit Artspace, a nonprofit organization located in downtown Akron that connects local artists to the resources they need to thrive. Our annual Arts Alive Awards highlight the vital role the arts play in sparking inspiration and enriching everyday life. This event goes beyond recognition. It reflects a shared commitment to ensuring that artists and cultural leaders have the support they need to succeed. For nearly 25 years, the Arts Alive Awards have celebrated hundreds of incredible local artists, arts leaders, and advocates from across our region who make Akron and Summit County a vibrant place to live. This year's recipients are no exception. I'm thrilled to share with you their unique visions and inspiring stories, which are a snapshot into the amazing work that local artists bring to Northeast Ohio every day. To learn more about each recipient and view their online profiles, visit summitartspace.org.
Being an artist in Northeast Ohio is something really special. There's nothing like us in the world, so we own it, and we're part of it. We've helped build it, but also we're standing on the shoulders of those that came before us.
The goal to Remember Balloons is multifaceted in that on the surface level, it's about raising awareness about Alzheimer's. But then on the next level, it's about how we as people tell stories across generations. I think as time and history has gone, and with the evolution of technology and social media and things, the thing that we're actually missing in relationships is storytelling.
The reason that we even started this, that we found the book and started the conversation, is because my grandmother had Alzheimer's. And no one had words for me as a child. So when we found the book, it wasn't just the words of the book, but why it turned into a show in the first place is that so much that happens in Alzheimer's doesn't have words to it. When you lose a memory, there aren't words to the memory that's lost. And so to bring dance, to bring music into it, for a child to experience that and see that, and for a parent to sit beside them when the child will ask questions. Now the parent has content, has something, a point of reference, so that they can enter into that conversation.
Ultimately, this subject matter is very tender, and it can feel hard. And because we built the show with the idea that children would be sitting next to parents who are sitting next to the grandparent, and all the generations are next to each other, we tried to build it in all these really accessible ways for everyone. Even though it gets to the harder conversation, there's hope at the end of it. There's this idea that when you walk away, we have our stories. And even though we aren't going to solve Alzheimer's with this show, but in the meantime, we have our stories. And we can cherish those stories and cherish each other's stories. And that's how we really keep people alive. And that's really how we keep our families together and alive, is by sharing our balloons.
Hearing multiple generations responding to the exact same content in the same way or different ways. So from 2 to, I think the oldest person was in their 90s, and watching that and hearing that and getting to be a part of it, that was huge.
It's interesting. I believe the show is already successful, just because of, some of the reviews we've gotten where it's actually touched somebody's life. They've had a realization that they can have a conversation. Maybe it's consoled them in some kind of way. But any art that I've put out or that I am a part of, if it just touches one person, then it's done its job. Luckily, I think we've touched a lot already in the world, and there's going to be many more.
With my work, I'm always thinking about the body, how much I put into it. If I'm using my fingers, I don't want to do that. I want to use my whole entire body, and it becomes a spiritual experience. And I want people to gain that and see that within my work as well. And with painting, you're able to hide brush strokes, but I don't want to do that. I want people to actually be able to see the process, see the layers of paint, see the glazing, and just think about the textures and the process of the artist while they're looking at my work. I have a primary goal when it comes to my work in connection with the audience And that goal is to make sure that you feel something, whether my work evokes like a certain reaction out of you, and that reaction may be sadness, it may be happiness, it may be conflicted feelings. I want someone to walk away with that and to have discourse about why they're feeling the way that they felt. For me, it's about that conversation, and it's about us acknowledging these parts of ourselves that we typically hide away and box up. And if I can allow someone the freedom to feel comfortable talking about certain things that they may not have in the past, up until them coming to an exhibition, I think that's the most important part for me, is the fact that I allowed someone to feel like they have agency over their emotions and their body. I'm just creating constantly. That is what I deem successful. And if my artwork is out there and it is making moves and impacting people, that is fine, regardless of how much money I get with it. I just love creating, and I love art, and I'm passionate about it. So if every day is me revolving around the arts in any capacity, whether it's sketching, teaching someone, mentoring someone, that is successful for me because I'm in the arts anyway.
Being an artist in Northeast Ohio it's a really special place to be a theater artist in particular. I don't know if a lot of people outside of theater arts know this, but Northeast Ohio is actually the largest theater district in the United States outside of Broadway. So we have a lot of really incredible talent here. What theater allows us the opportunity to do is have conversations about the world that we live in a meaningful way. Stories connect people in a way where their emotions are engaged and they're not thinking about themselves or their own particular point of view. What they're thinking about is the human experience, which is something that we all share outside of our politics, outside of our religion, outside of our own particular point of view about our personal identity. And I think that's what I'm really interested in, is how stories connect human beings about our own experience, about what we all go through every day. That's what successful storytelling, successful theater, and especially successful community theater. I mean, community theater's job is to give people an opportunity to participate in art and to connect people. And that's how you know you're succeeding, when people want to come together, they want to participate in a story together, they want to watch a story together, and they want to talk about it. So if those things are happening, I think we're doing a good job. All of the things you think you might not be able to do, you really can. We're creative creatures, we're social creatures, and if you want to give it a try, that's exactly why a community theater exists, to show you that these are things that you can do and to help you learn how. The stories that come out of being able to see things together are conversations you can't have unless you have people together in a room talking. So I look forward to the opportunity to share stories and have conversations that I just don't think are possible to have in other ways.
Being a dancer in Northeast Ohio means that I want to build community, build connections, and help people feel more confident. My goal as a teacher of dance and as a dancer is to help people feel good about themselves. And it's not necessarily that everybody be like the best dancer. More than people being great dancers, it's about them feeling part of a community and like every contribution is valued. Even if you're the person that just goes to the event and is like really in it and clapping for everybody, you know, there's a place for everyone in the swing dance scene. But I think that swing dancing in Ohio really makes sense just because we have such a history of blues, which turned into rock and roll, and swing music and jazz. And so it makes sense that a lot of dancers and a lot of dancing was happening in this area. And it's nice to be a continuation of that and to help people understand the history, having such a vibrant scene for both dancers and musicians of all kinds. It just feels good, like with the combination of like music is therapeutic and moving is therapeutic. You're releasing all these feel-good chemicals, and then you do it with someone, so you've got this cool partner dynamic to it, and then you're doing it in a swarm of other people. Like there's just so much goodness getting thrown at you that's free. It's just the best, and I love seeing that click for people.
A lot of people say, what's poetry? And it's very broad. But if you look at the page right away, you know a poem by the shape of it on the page. So there's the structure. And beyond the music and the rhythm that we all understand as poetry, and maybe the narrative story that is poetry, that there's something about the format that structure creates the poetry and forces maybe the music, forces maybe something unusual that you wouldn't get in prose. I guess I want an appreciation for how I am able to translate my feelings to them. But I'm most interested in writing persona poetry. So I get into another character, and if I can breathe life into that character so that character becomes someone they understand, feel with, then I'm happy. I think for me, success has been somebody appreciating my work enough to publish it. It's that human way of connecting with another person about an emotion, or it could just be a moment of awe or some shining incandescent moment that I can share heart to heart with you, soul to soul with you, and you feel as I do. If I can do that with words, that'd be my goal.
As a musician, going to places to meet students and working with them has been the most exciting part of my job. Anytime that I get to meet students who are very excited to work with me, that's the most meaningful part of having this job. Some people think that playing the flute is for yourself and for your self-fulfillment. But for me, as many people that I can share what I can do and what I can say through my flute, and seeing them being happy and excited to hear me, that's my primary goal. When I perform for people, they smile at me. That's an ultimate success for me. And as a teacher, when I see my students get excited with anything that I give them, and then they see, wow, this is really, really helpful, and then that's a big success for me. So it's very simple. I moved to Northeast Ohio in 2024, and there are so many great art organizations, and it is very surprising to see how many activities every weekend happens all over Northeast Ohio. And almost every weekend you can find a concert if you want to attend, which is fascinating to me because I, as a musician, it is my ultimate goal to play more concerts and then host a lot of events and then bring people together who love the music. And it's already happening everywhere in Northeast Ohio. So that I'm very excited about to be a part of this community.
My primary goal as an artist is I just want people to see my pieces and feel some kind of reaction, whether it be like joy or thoughtfulness. A lot of my work is really abstract, and so people can put whatever emotions they want into it, but I'm really just trying to get them to see color combinations that I see every day in nature. So like I'll take pictures while I'm outside, while I'm driving my car, of sunrises and sunsets and reflections and light sources. And I use those as my inspiration, and I feel a certain way when I look at those things, and I want people to have some kind of emotional response as well. I really like working in textiles because it combines my love of like transparency and texture and color, and I don't need to really focus on making an image out of it because I have all that other information to work with. Being an artist is something that has only happened pretty recently, and I'm still figuring out what that path looks like for me. I know that I'm in a privileged position because I don't have to make that my whole livelihood. And so I'm really trying to make it authentic to me and figure out what kind of work I want to make that is something that comes from myself and isn't, something that somebody else wants. I think it's really great that somebody that works in textiles is chosen, and someone who's maybe doesn't fit the profile of what an emerging artist is, like just out of college, just getting done with their stuff, just doing a big show. So I feel like I've been working kind of like under
the current for a long time, and I'm sort of now just getting some recognition, and it feels really great, but I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do next.
One of the great things about Northeast Ohio is the quality of our arts institutions and the quality of our artists. And it's so important and such an important part of who we are here in Northeast Ohio that we have really strong arts and culture. It brings people here. It causes people to come as tourists. It causes people to want to live here, to want to work here. It's part of the economic development fiber of our community. But I think it speaks even to a higher quality of life when the arts is integrated into all that we do. I have loved it all because every artist finds a way to connect with the natural environment in a unique way and inspire others to get to know the park, the national park, as well as enjoy nature. I continue to hope that we'll live into this vision and dream that so many of us have had here in Northeast Ohio, that this be a haven for artists, that there are ways for them to be appreciated, financially supported, that Northeast Ohio is known around the country and indeed around the world for the quality of the arts that we have. And I think here in Summit County, it's truly remarkable what we have to offer. I'm really proud when I think about the work that the Conservancy continues to do and the way that they are integrating the arts into all kinds of programming and planning for new park areas. The arts is front and center. It is part of the conversation and all that happens there. And I see this across the community in Summit County, that the arts is not an afterthought. It really is front and center, and care and concern for artists is important across the county.
I've always been interested in the arts and always been decent at art. So like even from a young age, I was like, nope, I want to be an artist in some way. I ended up working at Summit Artspace for a bit and really fell in love with like gallery work. And then things just kind of evolved and I saw that there was opportunities and took them. Supporting local artists is very, very important to me because art is a part of everything that you see or touch or hear just in general, which is another reason why I went into graphic design originally is like every billboard at least should be touched by a graphic designer or something just to make it more appealing. And it's just kind of a good basis of storytelling and communication and just connecting people. It's like one of the best entryways of just making a comfortable space for all, even if you're not an artist. That's how you make spaces cozy. So we're going on year 6 of the Groundhog Show. My friend Hope and I started it in 2021 as a celebration post-COVID, seeing if it's safe to come out yet. And then over the years, it's kind of become a pun to say if it was safe to come out yet because it's turned into a very queer-centric show. The driving vision behind the Groundhog Show is really just creating a safe and inclusive environment for all. Like the only rule is you can't be a bigot. So the vision is just to continue making a safe space for all and making everybody feel included. I'm most excited about the local art scene and just how it's growing and seeing all these new up-and-coming artists and also people who are older in life getting back into art. I really like seeing people just trying to take that extra step and push themselves. And I think that we're finally in that space, almost because we have to be, because the political climate of that's how we're kind of expressing ourselves because we don't really know any other way. And I think the Groundhog Show also gives that space. It's always been a very political show. Everybody's kind of having their voices heard more now, and that's really exciting.
When I decided to become an art teacher, I was going to go into language. I've always been like really intrigued with language. And I was in school for education and I left the University of Akron in the summer to take a painting job. And I discovered that I really enjoyed painting. I decided that I was going to go back and finish my education program. And because I was so into creating these spaces, I decided that I would, in fact, go into art education and drop the language. I love the fact that I can have conversations with students and help them realize like all of the potential that they have. And maybe they just don't know how to get around these roadblocks that tell them that they're not good enough or that it's impossible to allow them to like have a venue to express themselves and to like feel really good about what they've done, what they've known, what they experience, and then to be able to stand on that and just take it a step further, to just break through some of those barriers that we give ourselves. My number one goal, though, is to be able to expose them to all of these great works of art that you would never be exposed to as a high school student, and just get them curious, start dialogues, and just get them to think. My favorite ending is getting people to be able to have a conversation where they are just thinking and going down the rabbit hole. And then ultimately, I really want them to go see the works of art that they get really intrigued in and just like get out there and see.
Artists are what make our organizations unique. They tell our stories. They challenge us to do more, to be more, to feel more. And if we are leaning into what artists are here to tell us and to teach us, that we are becoming a more human environment, city, county, community. So there's a lot at stake when we support artists who are among us. And the challenge is to make sure that we are doing it in ways that are valuable and values-based for them as artists. I believe deeply in process, and I believe deeply that regardless of the outcome, that artists are doing brave things every moment that they are working. And so how do we support bravery? How do we give them what they need? How do we hear what they're trying to say, not just in the moments where they're performing or showing us work, but in the moments where they have doubts and they're trying to figure out what the next step is? If we can be there for those conversations, and anything that I do helps to think about things in new ways, or to connect somebody else to another resource, or simply to bear witness to something, and especially to invite voices that we may not hear enough or who are not empowered enough, it is my privilege to be able to get up every day and to experience a new opportunity that artists have done something amazing in the world, whether it is for an audience or a public or not. Regardless of how it happens, it's something that fuels what I do every day. And how lucky am I to be able to do this work?
Well, when you stop to think about it, the arts are, they may not identify it as art, but it is woven in the fabric of our community. The creativity that people come up with to make us think differently, to make us look at things differently, to create an environment of possibilities, to me, that's incredible. And I'm so happy to be able to be a part of it. And I see thriving artists that have built careers, and the imagination that they use to make things happen in different mediums, I just think is really cool and adds something to the daily lives that we live. And it is something that brings something that you can't define to a culture and to a community. And I'm grateful that we have that kind of spirit and creativity and people that do that and love it and make it possible for the rest of us that are not talented in that way. I would like to see the arts community even more built into the fabric of our community. To walk into corporate buildings and see the art that has been put there by creative people that have just created something that they want to share, and that our businesses and the people that work there get a chance to see that. Bringing in to where people live, where they work, and where they go to enjoy themselves. That culture is part of what people are looking for when they decide where they want to live or start a business. And I just think it's phenomenal because our doors are open to that. And our artists are always happy to talk about what they do and can create. So I'm excited about the future now that we have made some different investments and that the conversation is even more alive than it has ever been. The renovation at the Summit Artspace, from the county's perspective, is about a lot of things. It's about entrepreneurship. It's about renovating the building so that when people come into it, it was an old building, it's a lovely old building, but it was an old building and it needed renovation. And so that the feeling tone that's in there and the exposure by the sheer numbers of people that will want to come in and see what these artists are doing. And I would hope that that's contagious. How grateful we are to the arts community. You know, we never expect an award for what we do. But to be recognized, to know that people who have this talent choose to share it with us here in Summit County. On behalf of the artists and the people in our community, I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you to all the nominators in our community for sharing the incredible stories of these local artists and leaders. We are grateful to our sponsors who have helped make this year's Arts Alive Awards possible. And finally, we are grateful for all you do to support and advocate for local artists. We invite you to visit our newly renovated building, current exhibitions, and resident artists during our public hours on Fridays and Saturdays from noon to 5 p.m. at Summit Artspace. Our historic 55,000 square foot building, owned by Summit County, serves as a vital hub for the public to engage with the local creative community. We offer many ways to support and sustain local artists through affordable studio space, artist-centered galleries, and artist professional development programs. Learn more about our amazing community of artists at summitartspace.org.